Today we're going to be ranking elf cards on a tier list. At least an hour or two of them, starting with Reclamation Sage, because as a 2/1 elf shaman, when Reclamation Sage enters the battlefield, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment. That's right, say goodbye to your, I don't know, your propaganda, the worship you were hiding behind, or maybe, I don't know, some sort of paradox engine types of cards. Or whatever, you know, you stole my creature with Leyline Binding, I'm gonna blow it up and get it back. We got Reclamation Sage. Pretty useful universal card. Sometimes has seen competitive play, sometimes not. You know what, this card actually used to see a lot more play before. The big old Force of Vigor came around and said, you know, whatever you can do, we can do a whole lot better for a whole lot less mana. But you know what, I still like Reclamation Sage. Great card, and for that, I'm gonna put in the A tier. That's how much I like this card. Potentially could see some play in the more underpowered formats. Alright, next up we got Dinglebag with Bloodbraid Elf. This card, it used to be banned! It used to be one of the more broken cards. It's a green-red 2 generic 3/2 elf berserker with haste. And it's got Cascade. That's right. The ability that gives you a free spell. Now, this was really good in the era of Magic where having just a random extra card actually meant something. These days, having an extra card means nothing. You have to have like 10 extra cards for it to be meaningful. But at the time that you could have a 3/2 and Haster and another random body on the battlefield, whether it be Tarmogoyf, a Dark Confidant, you get a Lightning Bolt. Some people were finding Ancestral Vision off of their Bloodbraid Elf. It was really strong. And then it got banned in... When did it get... It got banned in Modern for like the dumbest reasons, because there's too many Jund decks. So the Wizards was like, too many Jund decks! You gotta break each other up. Play 4-color, 5-color, or something, so they banned Bloodbraid Elf, and then there was obviously a time where Bloodbraid Elf didn't really cut it. Got unbanned and saw a little bit of play in Modern, and just basically never again. If you play in Commander, what you're gonna get off of this thing? Just another random creature or something? So Bloodbraid Elf is okay. I think it's actually in the similar vein as, like, Reclamation Sage. Still like a good card, but nothing close to its glory days. So we're gonna put in the A tier. Let's show respect to Bloodbraid Elf. All right, now we have. Oh yeah, everyone's gonna talk about Priest of Titania Toads. Priest of Titania. Because I believe that. Oh, it's already. Yeah, it's officially spoiled. It's coming out in Modern Horizons 3. Or maybe if you're watching in the future, it's already out in Modern Horizons 3. The green 1 generic 1/1 elf druid. Tap, add a green for each elf on the battlefield. Unfortunately for Modern Horizons 3 players, has 1 toughness. Sort of sucks in that regard. Now, casually, this is very strong, because there's not enough removal in casual games, so this thing might as well be like, what's that green creature? Tap, add green for each, like, forest in play or something like that. That banned commander. This might as well be that commander at home. Effectively. You're not gonna do anything about my green elves on the battlefield? I mean, it's like an elvish champion, isn't it? Hold on, what's the difference between this and an elvish champion? No, no. Archdruid. Elvish Archdruid. I think nothing except the druid buffs the creatures. Yeah, it's basically the same thing, but for 2 mana. So it's not bad, but it's not great either. I don't know. Where do I put this thing? I think I'm gonna settle in the B tier because it's more of a casual card. The problem is, if you do not have a large density of elves on the battlefield, this thing sucks. Not to mention, I mean, the 1 toughness is a huge liability these days too, like Lava Dart, Plague Engineer, Engineered Plague. Let's not pretend like 1 toughness doesn't matter. Unless there's a humility out, then everything is 1 toughness. Alright, next up, let's take a look at Robert's Gilf Leaf Archdruid. Steals your opponent's lands. Gilt Leaf. The Archdruid. But it's for 5 mana. For 5 mana, yeah, you can, like, make your opponents really angry that you swipe something from them. Whenever you play a druid spell, you may draw a card. More druid than elf? Tap 7 untapped druids you control. Gain control of all lands target player controls. That's insane. Well, I mean, they're just never going to let you have that many druids in play. This is going to be like the most druid-like elf on this list today. It's definitely not really an elf card. I didn't know the druids were like the thieves of the land. There are so many druids among the elves. That is a good card. Ship it. But you need enough. You need like so many elves to pull off this thing. Controlling, but you get all lands. But what if we play a changeling deck? Changelings, people. We play changelings turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, or maybe we play Maskwood Nexus. We turn everything into a druid. Okay, I think this is a little too magical Christmas land. It's got potential, but I don't think it's that good of a card. B tier. It's more of a funsy card than anything else. It's not going to stand on its own 2 feet. You don't have 7 druids. You do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, it's fun in EDH. There we go. It's in the fun category. B for fun. B for be having fun. Ecos, Elvish Pathcutter. Let's have some early garbage for the list. It is a 4-mana 1/2 for the activated ability, agreeing to generic target elf, gains Forest Walk until end of turn. Be proud, Elvish Pathcutter, be proud. You grant Forest Walk, you do. For 4 mana, you are a 1/2. D tier. Okay, we got Kane. Love so much my old elf deck with Priest of Titania and Staff of Domination. That went infinite by turn 3. Congratulations. You get the... congratulations! You dominated them with the Priest of Titania. Okay, we've got Abzo Leovold, Emissary of Trust. This card, I believe, is it banned in multiple formats or one format? It's banned in the format. Banned in Commander! Okay, it's a blue-green, black 3/3 elf advisor. Each opponent can draw more than 1 card each turn. All right. Stop. Thank you for doing a pretty good Hull Breacher impersonation, but there's more. Whenever you or a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. That's value. So no matter what... I guess the biggest problem is this was a commander itself. And it did see Legacy play. I don't know what happened to those decks. It's still Legacy legal over here. I guess people just aren't interested in playing a Simic, or sorry, a Sultai Bant. Sorry, a Sultai Elf Advisor. It's a bit of a tongue twister. I have nothing else to say about this card. This actually is really, really, really good value. And for that, I'm gonna put in the S tier. What makes it particularly broken in Commander is that even if you get rid of it, like even if you deal with the stupid thing, it just keeps coming back. You just keep replaying it. You get an extra card draw. You get an extra card draw. And not to mention, like, you still have the synergy with the wheel-like cards, like Windfall, Time Twister, and so on. Look, everybody, let's all draw cards. Oh, I'm sorry, you cannot. But I get to still draw everything. Sucks to be you. That Carter kid says Elvish Piper. Has elf in the title. Elvish Piper, the green 3 generic 1/1 elf shaman. Pay a green tap. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. How do you feel, everybody? You feel like a champion? You got that creature over there? This card is amazingly expensive. It's not that good. Like, it's very easy to interact with. This is wild. Can you guys see this? Look at the price on Elvish Piper. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on. We're gonna zoom out. We're gonna zoom out a little bit more. See the price? It's like at least $4, and it's reprinted 100 billion times. I would not have expected that. I think that's wild. It's not that exciting. It's really not that good. You kill this creature, nothing. You got nothing in hand, nothing. It's okay though. It's like it's B tier. It's the green version of the Quicksilver Amulet or whatever. Some of that. Yeah, Piper always dies instantly. It's like everyone looks at this Elvish Piper and it's like, oh, you're the enemy now. Who knows what you're gonna put into play? You're the immediate target for no reason. Unless you have haste. Gotta give all your creatures haste. That could be a combo. Still, it's not like you can put Emrakul in play or anything like that. Okay, we're gonna ambush, says King Ginger, with the ambush commander. You know, I can't really see a commander ambushing because it's already in your command zone. Okay, we have a green, 3 generic, 2 elf. Forests you control are 1/1 green elf creatures that are still lands. Oh God. This sounds like this could go horribly, horribly wrong. Okay, anyway, we have a green 1 generic, sacrifice an elf. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Forests you control are 1/1. Like, what happens if somebody just Wrath of Gods? What if they Supreme Verdict? You just Armageddon yourself. It's not like everyone gets to have. Oh, you want to donate this? Would you want to donate the Ambush Commander? I don't think this is a very good card. Forests you control are 1/1 elf green creatures that are still lands. You can sack everything. I don't see any infinite combos with this thing particularly. I think this is just a liability. I'd be pretty scared to put this in my deck. C tier. You want to turn all your lands into creatures? Be my guest. Drown in sorrow, or you know, something. Whatever. Choose your sweeper, and then choose death. Okay, we got our first super chat from today. Today from Miyuki. Thank you so much, Miyuki. Old school instant elves. Wirewood Pride. Wirewood Pride. If it had not been done yet. How basic is this? It is a green instant. It's technically not an elf card. It doesn't even have kindred, the kindred ability attached to it. Target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn. Where X is the number of elves in play. Well, I guess we could call this an elf card. You know what? We're gonna consider if it says elf in the card, you got it. But with that, this is awful. I hate it. D tier. I don't even know why you'd put this in your deck. What is the utility for this? I guess the idea is back then you would have... Here's my problem with this card. Okay, let's just imagine you have 1,000,000 creatures in play. Why would you need to cast this? You just attack for 1,000,000. This is the most win more thing possible. And then if you have no creatures in play, well, it's sort of pathetic as it is. I mean, I guess you can make it a bigger Giant Growth. Giant Growth was a green for a +3/+3. This could be, in theory, 1 green for +5/+5. Maybe something can happen around here. Okay, we got, Alan says, it's not that good, but my favorite elf is Exquisite Huntmaster. Don't worry, we didn't, this show is not about good cards. This show is about elves. It's actually sort of new. Okay, we have a black 3 generic 4/2 elf warrior. And when it dies, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. I like it. And it's got Encore. Exile this card from your graveyard. For each opponent, create a token copy that attacks that opponent this turn if able. They gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery from your grave. So it has to die first. Then when it dies, you get a 1/1. And then you can give it to other... Basically, you can give copies to everyone else, but they can't attack you. Attacks that opponent. Interesting. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not that pump spell that we just did. But it's, I don't even think it is even casually competitive. It's just like some way to create fights around the table. C tier. What a very nice C tier card. Okay, Corbinic Well-Wisher. We have a 2-mana 1/1 elf. Tap, you gain 1 life for each elf on the battlefield. Could be a lot of life. But also, like, you know, some people say a great offense starts with a good defense. But not in Magic the Gathering. If you have 100 life, sorry, if you have 100, 200, 300 life, and you have no way of winning the game, you will eventually lose the game. So, Well-Wisher, while it is decent... I could get a better picture of this. While it's decent at gaining life, I don't think it's decent at winning the game. I'm going to put it in C tier. I think some elf players are going to find me crazy for doing that, but I mean, you'd really have to build your deck around life gain to get some really good use out of this. But you'd have to build some weird life gain elf matters deck, and I just don't even know if that even exists. So it's like, I think it's below par, in my opinion. You completely misread Inkire there. I did misread that because I don't know how to pronounce it. Okay, next super chat. Ooh, we have a lot of super chat. We have Pacers fan forever. The Heritage Druid. The former powerhouse. Basically, the engine to every single elf deck. This is the elf that everyone... It's funny. Okay, this is an embarrassment. This is the premier elf that has ever existed in elves. And I am disgusted. It is... Well, I can't show it. How do I show this to you? It's like $2. Elvish Piper is beating Heritage Druid. People don't know. You people don't know what's good for you. It's unbelievable. If you're an elf player, you need this card. It's better than anything because it taps 3 untapped elves you control to add 3 green mana to your mana pool. Now, if you have some card draw engine in conjunction with this, you keep drawing cards. You know, something like Glimpse of Nature, for example, was the traditional card. But the idea is, as you draw cards, you spew creatures on the battlefield. And as you spew creatures, you can tap them for mana to play out your hand. Like, that's like the dream of every elf deck. You want to empty your hand. And Elvish Heritage Druid helps you facilitate that in a big way. Heritage Druid isn't a Timmy Trap like Piper is. Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know, maybe... How do you use... My question of the day to everybody. How do you use Elvish Piper? Exactly, what are you trying to put into play that you couldn't already put into play with the 4 mana that you already had in the first place? Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? What does that mean? Is that an actual card? Well, first off, before we go any further, we're gonna rank Heritage Druid. I'm giving it seal of approval. This is an S tier level card. Lower in supply, somehow cheaper than Heritage Druid. I can't believe that. Do the casuals even know what this thing exists? That is so weird. Okay, anyway. Bee-Nut Putter, Allosaurus Shepherd. Okay, so for anyone who hates counterspells, hates blue players, this is your card. For a green, it's a 1/1 Elf Shaman. It can't be countered, so counterspell players, suck it. And then green spells you control also can't be countered. And also, on top of that, for a green 4 generic, until end of turn, each elf creature you control has base power and toughness 5/5 and becomes a dinosaur in addition to its other creature types. I suppose if you had that, elf that turned all your lands into 1/1 creatures, they would also become dinosaurs. Basically, the dinosaurs come back from out of the ground from fossilized form to get their revenge on, I don't know, the meteor. It's probably the last thing they were thinking of when they died. So this card's great because it is uncounterable. Makes all your green cards uncounterable. It's like Collected Company, Court of Calling, anything that's green, for that matter. And it can be like, it doesn't need to be an elf. Could be green creatures that are non-elves. And it also turns everything into a wicked win condition. This card is an absolute banger. I'm putting it straight into the S tier. Right where it belongs. Okay, next we got Junior Jones, a Timber Watch Elf. Timberwatch Elf is a 3-mana 1/2 elf. Tap. Target creature gets +X/+X. I can tell you people love your +X/+X things. Until end of turn, where X is the number of elves on the battlefield. I hate it. I don't like these cards. C tier. These aren't like these these are just these goofy cards. I mean, okay, there is some benefit to this card. Okay, I'm gonna raise it up a little bit. There is a little bit of a benefit. Okay, we're gonna move it to B tier. And I'll tell you why. You could go wide with a bunch of creatures, and when your opponent blocks, you, like, basically buff up the one creature to smack your opponent to death. So that there is that benefit. So if you need some way, but I would prefer to just like lord them out or by some other means. It still requires like a lot of creatures on the battlefield to make work. And on top of that, it does make blocks awkward. It's not super expensive, like 4, 5, or 6 mana. Prefer it with something closer to 2, but it's like, it's okay. It's also got 2 tough. You got's right. It's got 2 toughness. Timberwatch Elf, evolving with the times. How old is this card? What was its first print? Oh, a long time ago. Way back in the day. What is this called? Legions? I don't even remember this set. I don't even know it's in a Legion set. Anyway, so Timberwatch Elf. I guess it's like... It's got some enough tricks in it in combat that I could give it my seal of approval to B tier. But I don't think it's anything amazing or anything like that. Okay, next up, let's take Gavin with the Elvish Warmaster. Slow and steady wins the race. Oh, this guy. Yeah, the green 1/2/2 Elf Warrior that makes tons more elves. Whenever one or more other elves enter the battlefield under your control, you get a 1/1. You get another green Elf Warrior. Creature token, and this ability only triggers once each turn. But you only need it once each turn. I mean, you've got cards. We have elves, like when it enters the battle, or goblins, I should say. There are goblins out there. When it enters the battlefield, you get a 1/1 goblin, and that's it. And you'll never get it again. At least with the Elvish Warmaster, you continuously make these stupid tokens. Now, this is what I also really like about this. It's also a mana sink later on in the game, where for 7 mana, elves you control get +2/+2. And gain Death Touch until end of turn. So it makes blocks super hard. And it could also, if you have enough mana, infinite mana or Gaia's Cradle or anything, then you could really put a hurt and close out games against your opponents. I think Elvish Warmaster is insane. Does the world agree with me? Probably not. A tier. It's not the most broken thing in the world. Very, very strong card, though. I like my Elvish Warmaster. Okay, next super chat we got from... okay, we'll get from Ecos. The Werfox Bodyguard. Is it the Werfox? Only elf when not a full moon. Elf Fox Knight. That makes absolutely no sense. Okay, anyway, it's a 2/2 flash. When the Werfox Bodyguard enters the battlefield, exile up to one other target non-fox creature until Werfox Bodyguard leaves the battlefield. So it's like, it's an instant speed Oblivion Stone? Is that what I'm reading here? Pay a white and a colorless, sacrifice Werfox Bodyguard to gain 2 life. It's not even an ability you even want. Some elf got a little adventurous. I guess so. Elf Fox Knight. Some elf, some fox. One day they went to a bar. They went home together. Something happened. We got a Werfox Bodyguard, okay? And then it was done on a full moon. I'm trying to invent the lore over here. This doesn't even look like an elf at all. What is elf like about this? The ears? The fox already has pointy ears. It's like, it's nothing particularly new or special. We're like werewolf, but fox. LOL, it's a bite that happened. Is that what happened? I don't get this. Is there an elf in the background? Werfox. Oh, is it like it's protecting an elf? I don't understand the lore here. I think it's a cool card, though. I'll give it A tier. Good luck playing it in your elf deck, which is probably not using double white, though. That's probably the most awkward card to throw in there. Hey, why? We don't shame the elves for not looking elvish. Okay, sure. Frankly, it just looks like, it looks more like a fox. It looks more knight and fox than anything else. Okay, Kano with Baloth. What is this? Baloth something? Baratil Entertainer? Okay, we have a red for generic 2/5 Elf Shaman. Creatures your opponents control with power less than Baratil's power are goaded. They attack each combat if able and attack a player other than you if able. Whenever a goaded attacking or blocking creature dies, you create a treasure token. Choose a background. I don't get it. So creatures above control with power less than this guy, they're goaded. Oh, they can't attack you, they have to attack everyone else. They must attack someone else than you if able every turn. And then whenever a goaded creature attacks or blocks, dies, you create a interesting. This is a very evil elf. Looks like a villain in a James Bond movie or something. That's actually pretty good. I can give this A tier. I don't know how good this card is. How expensive is this? It's 5 mana. Okay, I'm gonna move. I've changed my mind. We're gonna go back to. We're gonna put it in a B tier. It's like an okay card. I like the idea of this card. But you have to, let's say you make it your commander, you have to be mono red. I don't know if this is the best mono red card. Like then how do you buff it up? Red is not that good at buffing, because you're gonna need to buff it to get to other people to attack everyone else with their cards. Okay, next up we've got let's get. Okay, we have a larger super chat in queue. Miyuki Ayara. The first of the Lothwain. Look at all these elvish actually, this was not necessarily an elvish trader. Most of the elves are green. Some of them are green-black. Freaking black aristocrats. Did we do this one yet? We have not. Okay, we got Ayara, first of the Lothwain. We have a black, 2/3 elf noble. And when Ayara, first of the Lothwain, or another black creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And also tap, sacrifice another black creature to draw a card. I like it. Especially since you can, like, sacrifice tokens. So for that, we give it A tier. It's a bit of a weird card. What is that? Is this like a legend? Is this what you put? Is this a legendary card? Or sorry, is this? Would anyone consider this as their commander? Or is this better in the 99? Another black creature enters the battlefield under your control. Each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. I wonder if there's some sort of chain. You can infinitely blink something with this deck, but it has to be mono black. See, that's the problem. It's easier to blink things infinitely when you have access to more colors than just black. Alright, next up, let's take a look at... Who's new around here? See a lot of new faces. Let's get something from... The Poodle Puffin, elf that turns into a werefox. Oh, you're just making a comment. That's totally fine, too. We got JDD, Drider. This is Elf Spider. It's a black 4 generic 4/3 with reach. Because all the spiders have reach for some reason. Even though they really cannot reach the clouds. Reach. Whenever Drider deals combat damage to a player, create a 2/1 black spider creature token with menace and reach. So when we deal damage to the opponent, we make more of these little skittering spiders. I think this is a little clunky and underwhelming for what it does. But it's not the worst card I've ever seen. I think all the cards in the C tier could defeat all the cards in the D tier quite handedly. C tier! Okay, next up, we're gonna take a King Ginger special. Oh no! You got sniped by a higher super chat. Sorry about that, King Ginger. Do you have another one? How many super chats do you have? I'll try to look out for you later. Okay, next we give to, let's give to Star here. Growth Chamber Guardian. This is like an awkward card. It was pretty good. It was like really good in standard. And then I don't know if it saw any play outside of that. I don't know. Does anyone Commander play the Growth Chamber Guardian? It's a 2-mana 2/2 Elf Crab Warrior. For 3 mana, you can adapt it for 2. So if it has no counters on it, put 2+1/+1 counters on it. And whenever 1 or more +1/+1 counters are put on the Guardian, you may search your library for a card named Growth Chamber Guardian. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. So the idea is you like Growth Chamber Guardian into another Growth Chamber Guardian into another one. And of course, your Commander players can't even use this card. You only get 1 Growth Chamber Guardian. So like the moment this like fell out of flavor in Standard, and also particular. It was like a pretty decent card in historic, I think, at one time, but then it's completely fell flat and disappeared. I think it's actually very C tier worthy now. It just did not age very well. It was just good at the time. And honestly, I don't even think it was that good at the time. Okay, let's move in. We're going to thank our sponsors today, starting with FusionGamingOnline.com, my favorite place to go buy my Magic the Gathering cards. Oh, the Fusion Gaming Open is done. I got second place in the Modern event. I'll have you all know. Second place. And I also ran back-to-back top 8s at Fusion Gaming Online. Oh my god, Modern Horizons 3 is around the corner. I have no idea. You've probably seen the leaks. Is anyone excited for the leaks? I'm sorry. Is anyone excited for the cards that you've seen leaked? I know I am. And you know where you can pre-order your cards? FusionGamingOnline.com. That is how you support the channel, and you can also support the channel by using coupon code Nikachu at checkout for 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, of course, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. My favorite place to buy My favorite place to... I play Magic online because this is the best way that I can practice Magic. You know, Magic the Gathering for tournaments. That's how I got that second place in that Fusion Open. It's also how I made the top 8 in Pioneer. And I practice on Magic Online, renting cards from Mana Traders. So if there's a new card that I want to test out before buying it, something like Boseiju. I rented Boseiju for Pioneer, and I realized, you know what? I need that for paper, and I bought it. And you can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below. Save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_7LH. And now back to elves. Back to ranking them elves. Millions of elves, frankly. Yeah, Harbinger of the Seas, Flood Moon. Yeah, can't wait for that thing to come out. Okay, Restian Serpentine wants Llanowar Elves. People will find it crazy how I'm going to rank this card. This is a green 1/1 with a very simple ability. Tap, add a green mana. It's seen play since Alpha and Beta. It's actually sort of nice that this card still sees play today. Still sees, like, really good Pioneer play. Because it's, like, one of the few things that can ramp you up. It's like the Soul Ring of Pioneer. Just a random 1-drop for 1. A 1-mana creature that adds 1 mana. It's still good. Like, in formats with not... Like, if you're in Standard, Pioneer, low-powered formats that are clunky, this card is insane because it lets you play your 3-drops on turn 2. Which sounds wild, but, like, you know what? Not everyone can do that. Sometimes you're up against a player... I'm just going to put in the A tier. I mean, it's not the most bananas card. It doesn't transcend the most powerful formats. If you're, like... But even in Commander, I mean, if you start with a Llanowar Elf, Birds of Paradise, right? Still good. 1 mana, add extra 1 mana. It's perfect. It's better than the... What is it called? Those 2 mana rocks. Infinitely better than them. It's the lowest S tier, highest A tier. That's possible. If you want to put on S tier, I would not doubt it. Could be considered S tier worthy. I was building a commander deck with that had the elf theme. Absolutely would have Llanowar Elves in it. Yeah, Bolt the Elf. It's not yet. Wait, if Birds of Paradise didn't exist, it'd be called Bolt the Elf. Make sure you bolt that thing, or you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. R.I.P. the Mana Dork cards in general due to Orcish Bowmasters. Yeah. So, yeah, basically all of them. Every Mana Dork these days needs to have, like, more than 1 toughness to survive. It's a cruel world out there. It's just a cruel world. Krokor Games with Voya, Jaws of the Conclave. This is not an elf. Oh, but it says elves, where X is the number of elves. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, it's, I was about to disqualify you. Okay, it's 5 mana for a 5/5. Vigilance, Trample, Ward 3. The wolves and the elves, they're really tight together. Whenever Voya Jaws of the Conclave attacks, put X +1/+1 counters on each creature you control, where X is the number of elves you control, and then draw a card for each wolf you control. Frankly, I would prefer the drawing card from wolf theme. This card's fine. Did this card break Commander like everyone said? Based on internet sentiment, I'll put it in the A tier, but I think it's B tier. Based on internet sentiment. For all I remember is everyone said, this card's broken. Why did they do this? How could they print this card? It's literally a creature that gets buffed up by elves and draws cards for each wolf you control. All the wolves are so clunky too. Insanely clunky. King Ginger, did you have one for getting sniped? Okay, Deep Forest Hermit. Of course, we can compensate you for the snipe. Oh, isn't this Deranged Hermit? Isn't this a superior Deranged Hermit? This is when they broke the reserve list, didn't they? It's a green 3 generic 1/1 elf druid with vanishing 3. The creature enters the battlefield with 3 times counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a time counter from it, and when the last was removed, sack it. When Deep Forest Hermit enters the battlefield, create 4 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens, and squirrels you control get +1/+1. It's a lord for squirrels. You like that, Toads? Toad's a squirrel connoisseur, not strictly a squirrel card, but pretty close enough. It's got squirrel on the card or whatever. Where to rank this, though? This card's sort of hot trash these days. I guess we can put it in the B tier. It's not that good, though. It was a powerhouse a long time ago, because it was basically like it's like a sort of an army in a can. These days, they're so much better. So much better. Okay, we got, let's take one from Gavin Drake. Tolsimir. Tolsimir? I don't think I'm spelling this right. I don't think you're spelling it right either. Is it this? T-O-L-S. I'm gonna look up T-O-L-S. There we go. I'm assuming it was friend to wolves, because this is an elf. Okay, we have a white, green, 2 generic, 3/3 elf scout. There's the battlefield crate. Voya, friend to elves, a legendary 3/3 green and white wolf creature token. I swear, reading this feels like Majra designed this card. I think I see where the inspiration to a lot of Majra cards came from. Whenever a wolf enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 3 life. And that creature fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. This feels like it was designed by Majra big time. Whenever wolf comes into play, it does something. You gain this and you do that. So it's like 3 or 4 abilities on 1 card. And it's like, it looks very pushed but not broken. I think this is an A tier worthy card. I like that it gets it has a lot of value to it. Who doesn't want to gain life and fight things at the same time? And create creatures all at the same time. Ooh, Prime Jaders, gifting all the... Hold on, this is a great spot for... which sound effects? This one! Gifting 5 memberships to everyone. Thank you so much, Prime Jaders. Gifting Prime subs. Not actually Prime. Not sponsored by Amazon. Okay, so next up we've got Ecos with Rocco. Rocco's Modern Life. No, it's the Rocco the Caterer. The Cabaretti. This is held in Italy or something. Okay, so we have a white, green, red axe for a 3/1 elf druid, and when Rocco, Cabaretti Caterer, enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you may search your library for a creature card with mana value X or less. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. That's insane! I mean, the only downside to this is you do have to spend Naya colors, but this card tutors things into play! At uncommon? What is going on here? Am I missing something? Enters the battlefield if you cast it, which I think you have to. Oh, well, I could guess reanimate it or something. You may search your library for a creature card. Mana value X or less. Oh, it's a 3/1. Is that the problem? But if this is your commander, it's like perpetually, potentially a gigantic tutor. I like this card. I like this card a lot. I think tutoring into play is busted. It always is, always was. I think this is an A tier worthy card. Do not underestimate tutoring into play. Prime Jaders handing out the Prime Brews. Okay, Toilet Duck. Norwood Priestess. Four mana 1/1 Elf Druid. You may put a green creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Activate this ability only during your turn before attackers are declared. It's Elvish Piper again. Holy this is $80. It's from Portal? Portal Second Age? My god, you people love your Elvish Piper so badly. B tier. If you want a second Elvish Piper. Okay, so for everyone, you like Elvish Piper? You wish you could have a second one? Well, here's the news. Here's Norwood Priestess. Your legal second Elvish Piper. Good luck buying one, though. It's basically like, it's basically reserve list. I don't know, they probably will reprint the Norwood Priestess at some point, but probably in some weird set. Okay, next, we've got Steve Cooper. Thank you very much for your super chat. Circle of Dreams Druid. And 2 donations to the chat. Thank you very much, Steve Cooper. Ah, yes, green, 2/1. Tap, add a green for each creature you control. So it's like slightly better. Actually, sorry, it's a superior Priest of Titania. Or even Elvish Archdruid, because you do not necessarily need to be in an elf deck in order to get this ability. So it is significantly stronger than the other ones. So this is for like, this is like the elf, it's almost, this is an elf traitor. Betrayed the elves, went to the other side. With all the other green, to the beasts, the werewolves, what other green creature types are out there? The insects, the spiders. Yeah, helping them cast and activate their abilities. Circle of Dreams Druid. Fulfilling the dreams of everything that's not an elf. Okay, next up we've got, we got Mr. Very Smart with the Gaia Skyfolk. Is that like elf merfolk? Did you just get a Prime Jaders sub? Okay, we got a green, blue, 2/2 elf merfolk with flying. This card is absolute crap. 2 mana. Yeah, actually, at the time, I think it was not too bad, but there's like nowhere to put this thing. Today, I think is just a 2 mana grizzly bear. It's a flying grizzly bear. Very, very I'm not gonna say overrated, maybe accurately rated. Not particularly exciting, though. But it's an elf merfolk. Look at that novelty. There is no elf merfolk in the game. Yeah, but how does it win me the game? You know, we're not... Yeah, 2/2 flying was for 2 is all right. Well, that was all right back then. It was okay. Back then, a grizzly bear was okay. Okay, next up, hold on. We have 2 donations, so we'll give one to... I can't speak! Allosaurus Rider. Did we do that one? No, we did not. Allosaurus Rider. Ah, yes, the janky win condition. The 7 mana. 1+*, 1+*. Some weird Tarmogoyf looking thing. You can exile 2 green cards from your hand, then rather than pay Allosaurus Rider's mana cost. Its power and toughness are each equal to 1 plus the number of lands you control. I think you can play it with no lands in play. I think that works out. But anyway, yeah, it was a Neo brand card. So basically, it was like a really niche win condition. The idea is you play Allosaurus Rider, then you play Neo form. Or Eldritch Evolution, I think, also works. You sack a creature. As an extra cost to cast a spell, you have to sack a creature and search your library for something of equal converted mana cost +1. And the thing is, Allosaurus Rider already costs quite a bit. Already is a 7 mana card. Now, you played it for free, but it's not... I don't know, it's worth a lot more to the Neoform. And then you go dig your deck for, like, a Grizzlebrand or something. Maybe not in Commander, because that's banned. Now, technically... It is the rider, not the dinosaur, which I find that's really, really weird. I'm going to put in the B tier. I don't think this is that great of a card. I think it's like it's a really narrow combo card. Really sees no play in any other deck. Many of you have never even heard this card even existed. All right, next up, Citadel, Canopy Tactician. Canopy Tactician, a 4 mana 3/3. It's a Lord. It taps for 3. No, nothing wrong with that. Nothing great about it either. Alright, you got a Lord that basically ramps you into your, like, 7 drops. B tier. Ramps you into 7 drops. Okay, back to the super chats. Where's Elvish Mystic, crew? Yeah, where is it indeed? Thank you very much, Benovsky. Same place as Llanowar Elves, because it is the same damn card. Effectively, with the exception of the name. And Llanowar Elves is A tier, so I can put this A tier as well. Very, very good. It's actually, you know, it's really interesting how well a 1 mana dork has held up, especially even in Commander. I'm actually really impressed that cards like Birds of Paradise still see super competitive play. I think that's really cool. Trevor says, late stream. It's not late. This is the new time. Welcome, Trevor. Show up 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We need more people coming in at the 3 p.m. slot. This is the new time around here. Pacers fan forever said he wasn't going to be here anymore, and he keeps showing up anyway. Okay, well, while we're talking about Pacers fan forever, we'll get through his super chats. Okay, see, Poison Tip Archer. Yeah, a lot of the elves are archers at the same time. We have a green-black 2 generic 2/3 elf archer with reach and death touch. Whenever another creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Reach and death touch. I could see some potential here, especially if you have some sack outlet to sack your board of all your millions of elves. And it's each opponent, so you can, like, nuke them all in 1 shot. B tier. It's got potential. Is this the coffee or cocoa crew? Depends. I still have, well, how much coffee do I have left? Not much. I drank most of it. I'm on tea now. Okay, Junior Jones, we got Raphaelos. Thank you so much. Isn't that one of the broken cards? Isn't that the banned commander? The absolute banned of all banned. Banned I don't even know how long this card existed for. Does anyone know the history of Raphaelos? I wonder if there's, like, some Ristic Studies video that I could look up on Raphaelos. Raphaelos was one of the most beloved cards in Magic the Gathering. It's on the reserve list, and it got banned in Commander. Too strong. Tapped out of green for each force you control. And from what I hear, what I gather from all of you is that this card is broken mostly because you can repeatedly cast it over and over again. So it's like you can say, oh, removal this, removal that, yeah, but eventually it's gonna stick. And then it's gonna just add a boatload of mana. And now with Yavimaya, it'd go over the top. All right, we'll give it the S tier treatment. To be honest, this card is very, very, very poor in 60 card formats. Very poor. He was part of the Weatherlight crew, died early in the adventure. Died early in Commander's career as well. Hello, Boar N. Hey, Nikachu and chat. Hope you're all doing well. Moon Blessed Cleric. It's a great... It is great half elf. Oh, it's a human elf. Just like... Wasn't there a human elf in Lord of the Rings? I don't remember. Maybe not. Okay, we have a green 2 generic 3/2. Divine Intervention. When Moon Blessed or Blessed Cleric enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, and then shuffle and put that card on top. Oh, so it's like Vampiric Tutor. That's quite nice. I like that. That's value. And for that value, you go to the B tier. 3 mana Vampiric Tutor? Alright, that's fine, but it's like sorcery speed. I don't even get to put it in my hand immediately. Pathetic. But still playable. Okay, next up. Next super chat from Paces Fan Forever. Edric Spymaster. Ooh, got a strong one here. This is like an all-star card that you can like draft in cube. 3 mana for a 2/2 Elf Rogue. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, a controller may draw a card. Oh, wait a minute. This helped buff other people. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may draw a card. So if player B attacks player D on the other side of me, they also get value. Yeah. This Edric also looks worried, just realizing what he's done. Yeah, like, wait a minute. Everyone else also gets to draw cards when they attack my opponents? That is crazy. But it makes other players not want to attack you. Ooh, that's a good point. That's a great point, Henrik. Maybe Edric shouldn't be so concerned. No one's going to attack you, Edric. You are not the threat. Everyone else is a threat because everyone else wants cards. I like Edric a lot. That's so cool. I don't know if this is good in an elf deck. Actually, it should be good in an elf deck. He is good with unblockable weenies. No, just be an elf deck. You make millions of weenies. Let them all go to the grave. I think this is... I like this card. S tier. I might be overrating this card. I like it a lot, though. Chaos Fellow. Scattershot Archer. Ooh! For 1 mana, we have a 1/2 that can tap to deal 1 damage to each creature with flying. I'm not gonna say this card's terrible, but this is just really situational. Like, this will be very good versus very few cards out there. C tier. There's better out there. Still not the worst. King Ginger, Bloodbraid Elf. You definitely are very late to the party with that one. Here's Bloodbraid. It's right over here. It's the newer art. Yeah, I don't like it either. Okay, let's give this super chat to Hamad, Abomination of Llanowar. The Abomination, you say? Yeah, it is an abomination. This is disgusting. It is a 3 mana elf horror with vigilance and menace. The first menacing looking creature I've ever seen. Yeah, if I saw that while walking out of a grocery store, I'd be like, by all means, I will not get in your way. The Abomination of Llanwar's power and toughness are each equal to the number of elves you control, plus the number of elf cards in your graveyard. Ah, so it counts all your dead bodies. That sounds terrible, though. So its power and toughness are each equal to the number of elves you control, plus the dead ones. The dead and the living combined together to make this thing. I don't like it, to be honest. I don't think it's very interactive. I'm gonna put it in the C tier. It's just it's just a rent. It sort of reminds me of Crackling Drake, where its power and toughness are each equal to, like, you know, all the cards, or I think it was instants and sorceries in graveyard and exile, something to that effect. What says vigilance and menace? It's just not a very interactive creature. I could be wrong about this card. It doesn't have pure evasion. Maybe this is a lot better than I think it. This is like maybe a card I have to play against to truly understand its absolute power. Okay, next up, the Abyssal Soul. Imperial is perfect. Okay, we have a green 2 generic 2/2 elf warrior. Other elves get +1/+1, and also pay a green tap, create a 1/1 green elf warrior token. B tier. It's like, it's okay. I'm not gonna say no to a lord. It's a lord that makes bodies. You probably have a spare green mana hanging around there. You dig deep into your couch. There's always a spare green mana over there to make another 1/1 or something. All right, King Ginger. Do you have one that can stick? You've been sniped twice today. Delina, Wild Mage. Oh, is this the Gambler? It is the gambling card. All right, so we've got Delina. When Delina Wild Mage attacks, choose target creature you control, and then roll a d20. 1 to 14, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of that creature, except it's not legendary and it has exile this creature at the end of combat. And I'm pretty sure people choose Delina. Is that how it works? Whenever Delina Wild Mage attacks, choose target creature you control, then roll a d20. Exile. Okay, 15 to 20. Create one of those tokens. Roll again. I can't remember the combo with this. There's some way to there is some jank way to get a million Delinas on the battlefield. Oh, this is not a combo, Christopher B. Okay, I thought you were mentioning the combo. Christopher, this is Christopher B's new strat. Let's name 7 cards at once. One of them will get through. I don't. Christopher B's working really hard in that comment section. I have no idea how to rate this card. Maybe this card is really good. I'm gonna put in the B tier. Maybe I should put in A tier. No, I'm gonna put in B tier. It's too janky for my taste. Okay, next up we have Lowry with Elvish Farmer. The Elvish Farmer is a green 1 generic 0/2 elf. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a spore counter on Elvish Farmer. Remove 3 spore counters from Elvish Farmer. Put a 1/1 green Saproling token into play. And you can sack your Saproling to gain 2 life. Is this on the reserve list or something? It is on the reserve list. Because it's $5. That means I'm putting it in the C tier. I don't think it does enough for these Saproling tokens. I think this person is really tired of making 1/1 Saprolings for so little money. It's basically working all day to make a Saproling, and you just get 2 life out of it. Yeah, look, it's its own. Yeah, it's its own value engine. Once per turn. All you have to do is get a bunch of extra turns, and you're golden. Okay, next up we got from Eco's Devoted Hero, perfect support for mono white elves. We have a white one too. Oh, there's nothing here. It is, okay, hold on. It is errated to an elf soldier though here. It was originally a soldier. We will make you a soldier, but we can also make you an elf soldier. Did this actually see any play at all? I don't even think in mono white it would see play. D tier. This is terrible. we have an off color elf that has no abilities. You go straight to the D tier. It's just kind of sad it was errated into an elf when it's awful. LOL. Still better than the 1/1 Willow Elf, which is a 1 CMC green vanilla. Oh, look at the ears. It's definitely an elf. Old boy's talking about something. You got a card? A King Ginger super chatted Blood Bath Elf, not Blood. Oh, really? Blood Bath Elf? Such a thing exists? Blood Bat? Is this the other one? Bloodbat Summoner? I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about. You guys trolling me or something? Okay, okay. You have a real card here, old boy. Worm Skin Forger. Doesn't even sound like an elf. Oh, it is an elf. Sneaky one at that. 7 mana. That's way too much mana here for a 2/2 elf warrior. Comes into play, distribute 3+1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures. The only way you're going to make this good is if you have Hardened Scales in play, and a lot of them, and a lot of other Hardened Scales effects. Another for the D tier. Can hang out with the white 1/1 elf. Okay, now it is Super Chat era. And if anyone gets sniped, then we donate it to the public chat. Azuri, Renegade Leader. All right, Azuri, what are you up to these days? It's a green 1 generic 2/2 elf warrior with green for pay 1 green, regenerate another target elf. That's good. Also for 5 mana, elf creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample until end of turn. Oh yes, Azuri. I used to lose to this card to every elf deck. Every elf deck would play this. It used to be the main win condition. Now there's Allosaurus Rider and a bunch of like other cards and so on. But it used to be the main win condition in elves. In fact, I would say it's still that good. The fact of the matter is, if you have infinite mana, it gives you the ability to like pump everything up an infinite amount of times. And also, if you don't have infinite mana, at least gives you the opportunity to make a lot of good attacks versus your opponents. And if they make the appropriate blocks, you can regenerate your creatures in combat. So with that, I actually think this is an S tier worthy card. I will pledge my allegiance to the Azuri. Okay, next up, we've got Junior Jones, Imperious Perfect. Oh, did we just do this one? Other elves you can control. Oh, we did this one, Junior Jones. I'm so sorry, Junior Jones. You got sniped somehow. Okay, we're gonna donate to... Who didn't get one yet? I don't think Avatar or Woe got. Joiner Adept. Sorry, the Joiner Adept. The Joiner Adept has joined the party. The 2 mana 2/1 Elf Druid lands you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. It's okay. Hey, 2 mana, add a mana. That's like the going rate that you need to be playable in Commander. And it's an elf. B tier. Although honestly, for an elf deck, this is probably crappy mana. But for any other deck, I think this is great. Next, we have Pacers Fan Forever's Beast Whisperer. Beast Whisperer is... Oh, it's a 4 mana 2/3. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you draw a card. This is broken. Every elf deck needs to play this thing. Because you need more of these types of cards where if you cast an elf, you draw a card. And with more elves that you cast, you keep drawing cards. And so long as you have enough mana to keep casting these stupid things, they chain together like wild. Easy S tier. It's got a bird. I'm going to get a little bit of the bird in there too. I think this is an S tier worthy card. And it's an elf! You can tutor this into play. Like, there's a Glimpse of Nature, which is a similar thing. Let's get Glimpse of Nature. It's the same ability. Whenever you play a creature spell this turn, you get to draw a card. But it's only this turn. It's gone after that. This one stays on the board for forever. Now, on top of that, you can tutor into play. You can natural order it. Chord of Calling. You can tutor for it. And it just sticks. Turn after turn after turn, you get more... Turn after turn after turn, you get more value. Was your super chat done? You're next with Marwyn the Nurturer, if not done. The Nurturer. Okay, we have a green 2 generic 1/1. Whenever an elf enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Marwyn the Nurturer. Also tap, add an amount of green equal to Marwyn's power. It's a strong card. But, you know, it's not like this card is going to win the game by itself, but it is still good enough that as you play elves, this will be a good way to add more mana, and it might be like a good way to attack your opponent. They better block this damn thing. This is A tier worthy. Not the most broken thing I've ever seen, but it's good value. Ooh, Shaman of the Pact. I'm just gonna give, you're gonna get the police sound effect. Okay, I'll give you a real sound effect. Shaman of the Pact is a Golgari elf that when it enters the battlefield, target opponent loses life equal to the number of elves you control. I've lost this card a million times. Elf players don't even need to attack me. They just get enough elves on the battlefield, drop this damn thing, and it's over. Okay, we'll take a little bit of an intermission to get Christopher B on here. Okay, Christopher B, which one do you want? How about Glisa? I don't think we did a Glisa. Oh, I don't even know what Glisa you want. Oh, any Glisa. You're not even picky. How about the Traitor? Glisa the Traitor. It's a green black 3/3 zombie elf. First strike and death touch. Whenever a creature an opponent controls is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. This is terrible. This is terrible in an elf deck. I think this is terrible in basically any deck. I don't even know how you make use of Glisa. Okay, D tier. It sounds like an ability that would be good, but I don't know how anyone could make really good use out of this. Because if you're like a hardcore artifact deck, probably you're in blue. It would be hard to cast this damn card. Very, very difficult. Classic Commander, love her. Oh, how do you use this in Commander? Am I like grossly underrating this card? First strike, death touch. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you can turn an artifact card. It's like the idea, I don't know, to use like artifacts that you can sacrifice to draw cards or something to that effect. First strike and death touch is nothing to scoff at. Oh, I'm gonna, oh yeah, I get it. So first strike damage happens and they die first. Which makes a whole lot of sense. Somehow in Magic, people simultaneously punch each other at the same time. You play self-mill, play Edict, so you get a bunch of artifacts back. Okay, I'm gonna put in the B tier on the safe side. I don't know, is this a broken commander or something? Never seen it in action. She's a Phyrexian, so there's that now as well. Alright. Well, there's that as well. Jess with Lathril, Blade of the Elves. Donate times 1,000,000. Or you want to donate it to somebody? We have a green-black 2 generic 2/3 elf noble with menace. When Lathril Blade of the Elves deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens. That's pretty good. And then we tap. So we tap this. Then we tap 10 more elves we control. Each opponent loses 10 life, and you gain 10 life. I like the sound of this card. I think this is a lot of value. You also get to play 2 colors. You get to play black and green. It's got mana, so hard to block to create value. This is a great card. I don't know if it's busted, though, so I'm just going to put in the A tier. King Ginger's Elvish Archivist. This is a green 1 generic 0/1 elf artificer. When one or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control, put 2 +1/+1 counters on your Elvish Archivist. This ability triggers only once each turn. And then whenever one or more enchantments enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. So this is more for like an artifact deck or an enchantment deck than a what's it called? Than for an elf deck. But it looks like an elf trader, but it looks very, very, very good. Whenever one or more enchantments enter the battlefield under your control, this is like it's like an enchantress type of card. I think that's a lot of value. And it can get big in Commander because you can just like, just play Soul Ring. You play Soul Ring and you buff this thing up. Okay, I'll put it in the A tier. I like this card a lot. Yeah, it's an Elvish Impersonator. Something sus about that one. Okay, Pacers fan forever. We've got Poison Tip Archer. Poison Tip Archer is a 4-mana 2/3 with Reach and Death Touch. Whenever another creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Any creature. Oh, didn't we do this one? Pretty sure I did this one. Yeah, right over here. There's that poison. No, that's not it. Is there something similar to this? Oh no, here it is. Okay. So there was a snipe. I'm sure it was very accidental though. You did not rank the shaman. Oh yeah, what happened to the Shaman of the Pack? Oh, let's get back to Shaman of the Pact. Or sorry, Shaman of the Pack. This card's S tier. This card's just game ending. The card wins by itself. Whoops. Shaman of the Pack, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so, okay, hold on. Who has not got a... Mordrick letting us all know. Did not get a card yet. Deathrite Shaman. How did we not do Deathrite Shaman? Alright, this is... This is where you give all the warnings. Everything that you could possibly can. I envy Commander players because you can still play with this card. Truth be told, you can still play it in Pioneer, but it sucks because there's no lands in the graveyard. Hardly ever. So we have a 1-mana 1/2 Elf Shaman. Tap, exile land card from a graveyard. Add 1 mana of any color. I wonder, can you screw around with people these days with that? I guess you can. I just realized I can play this in my Pioneer Merfolk deck, actually, if I really wanted to. So we have a black tap, exile target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard. Each opponent loses 2 life. Pay a green tap, exile target creature card from a graveyard. You gain 2 life. I don't really have... Yeah, it dangered since the beginning of time. Got banned in only 2 formats, to be honest. But they were 2 important formats. Yes, dear. The funny thing is it was broken because it had 2 toughness. The 2 toughness broke the damn thing. Okay, we got Miyuki. So we are TT crew now. If you want to be, yes, you can be TT crew. Someone said like the hot cocoa crew. That only makes some sense like in the winter, in my opinion. Please don't tell me you think I got a card already again, because I didn't. Flourishing Defenses to fill up the D tier. Flourishing D tier. It is a 5-mana enchantment. Whenever a -1/-1 counter is placed on a creature, you may put a 1/1 green Elf Warrior creature token into play. There's probably a world where this is useful. I don't know if I'd ever build a deck around it, though. Alright, Flourishing Defenses, D tier. Couldn't agree more. Okay, next up, we've got Ecos. Pod as your commander. Prime Speaker Xanathar. Sorry, not Vanifar. Prime. This is that Simic thing. Oh, Vanifar. I was thinking Prime Speaker. You see how I screwed that up? I called it Xanathar because I was thinking of Prime Speaker Zagana, which is a Merfolk wizard. Of course, I, the Merfolk player, would know all the Merfolk wizards, but you're talking about Prime Speaker Vanifar. Now, this is a 4-mana 2/4 Elf Ooze wizard. Tap, sack another creature, search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the sacrifice creature's converted mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. Now, I don't know about Commander, but I do know in Modern, if your opponent untaps with this thing, you're just dead. I mean, it's over. You can just scoop it up. I believe there's an instant combo out of it between like searching for a card that untaps this, retap, go get Kiki Jiki, and then you got like an infinite creature combo. So this has to be super respected. It's basically like a 1-card win condition. The only downside is doesn't have haste, unless you give her haste. That's an S tier level card if you ask me. Okay, Pod as your... Oh, no, we did this one. Thank you very much. And we got Elixir with Root Path Purifier. Path Purifier. It's a green 3 generic 3. Ooh, it's actually pretty beefy. Root Path Purifier has been working out. 3/4 creature for 4 mana. That's insane. Same in EDH. LOL, you tap with it, you win if you make the deck mean. Oh, yeah. So you have to have... So the only... So hold on, let's get back to Vannifar. Yeah, there are cards that give creatures haste. So if you have the... It'll be so face up. I'm the prime speaker Vannifar deck. I put the enchantment out that gives my creatures haste. Everyone will be ready. I mean, there's ways of interacting. You can counter it. You can kill it after its activation. So it's not the end of the world. Okay, back to the Root Path Purifier. Lands you control and land cards in your library are basic. I have no idea how to make use out of this. I guess you... There are cards that say, you know, search for basic lands. You can put it onto the battlefield or something to that effect. So basically you can... Okay, yeah, I get... Okay, I think I understand. When you look for a basic card in your deck, you can look for non-basic lands instead of just basic lands. So I guess that is the that's the gimmick here. I really have no idea how good this is, though. Strategically. So I'm just going to be safe and say it is an A tier worthy card. It could be a lot stronger. It could be S tier. Vannifar is birthing pod on a stick. Definitely. Therefore, definitely S tier. Elvish Provisioner, my favorite elf. The Provisioner? There is no such thing as Elvish Provisioner. I think you mean Tireless Provisioner. This is your favorite, King Ginger. All right. It's a 3 mana 3/2 with landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, create a food or treasure token. Very nice. I think this is D tier worthy. What is this, good in draft or something? Sorry, not D tier, C tier. You get a little bit of value. You know, I'm not going to complain. You get a little something. You get a treasure, so you get a rebate, so it's basically like 2 mana. So yeah, I guess it's like a 2 mana 3/2 in some weird capacity, but you have to make use of that mana. Or maybe not. You can wait. You can sit on it for next turn. Okay, next. Another King Ginger special. Azuri, Claw of Progress. Multiverse Legends art, please. Is this it? This is Double Masters. Is this it? It's a Multiverse Legends art. One of them, at least. Okay, we have a blue-green, 2 generic, 3/3 Phyrexian Elf Warrior. Whenever a creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you get an experience counter. Now, at the beginning of combat on your turn, put X +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control, where X is the number of experience counters you have. It's okay. It's okay. Just like mindlessly buffs your stuff. It buffs. B tier for buff. I want a slightly more upbeat music. Good enough. Jumping meatball. Jumping meatball. I can hear her crying in the background. You wanna come? Come! 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 We have intermission. Oh! You come! Oh! She's usually not around for the streams. No, don't go. Don't go! Okay, she's gone. Dark Star Shura with the prowess of the fair. I don't know where she went. She disappeared on me. We had a cat on the show for a split second. Alright, we got a black 1 generic elf. Whenever another non-token elf is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. That's neat! Whenever another non-token elf. So when your elves die, you get an elf anyway. I sort of like it. It's like a rebate. But it's probably still like a B tier worthy card. Because ideally you do not want your creatures dying in any capacity. Okay, we've got another one from Pacers fan. The Oracle of Moldaya. How did no one, like, mention that? Oracle of Moldaya, the 4-mana 2/2. You can play an additional land on each of your turns. That's strong. And then play with the top card of your library revealed. And you can play lands from the top of your library. That's value. That's almost like drawing cards, frankly. This is an S-tier card. Some people may not even know that this is an elf card because it doesn't go into elf decks. How about that, elf players? Do you play with this card? Probably should. Help dig for your gas. Blacklands Geo with the Heritage Druid. We did this one. If taken, Gwenna Eyes. All right, you had the backup. You were smart. You saw the foresight. Gwenna Eyes. The Eyes of Gaia. This is a 3-mana 2/3 Elf Druid Scout. Tap. Add 2 mana in any combination of colors. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells or activated abilities of a creature or a creature card. Whenever you cast a creature spell with power 5 or greater, put a +1/+1 counter on Gwenna Eyes of Gaia. And untap it. Oh, so you can continuously do it over and over again. Add 2 mana in any combination of colors. It's like a super mana dork. Okay, I like this card. I like the ability. I like that you can get like extra value out of it. I'll put it in the A tier. I would dare to put it in the A tier. Okay, Steve Cooper says, let's get more super chats in there. Donate 5 to chat. Okay, who hasn't got cards? Who did not get a card today? Wanted to join the show, saw the elves, and went, no thanks. All right, Owen, so long. Elves aren't for everybody, I guess. Okay, I don't think the Abyssal got one today, so... Wirewood Lodging. Wirewood Looting? Oh, you must be must be in the conversation or something. Jay with Chameleon Colossus. That is disqualified. That is a changeling, I know. You try to sneak a changeling on here, Jay. You wouldn't do that on my show, would you? Okay, who has not... No card, David says. Coiling Oracle. Isn't this like that sad thing? Blue-green 1/1. Enters the battlefield. Reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, you put that card into your hand. This has seen value play, but like by today's standards, it's really not that good. But it's still value. B tier. Value is value. Bell didn't get a card yet today. What do you got for us? For the tokens, Riz. The Redeemed. Wait! Old boy's like, wait a hot second. Coiling Oracle is an elf? Yes, it is an snake elf druid. Those silly Simic people blending creature types together, making like fox mice and stuff like that. Okay, we have a green-white 1/1 elf warrior. Oh, it's this janky thing. Okay, it starts off for... It's 1 mana, but it costs you more after that. It has downloadable pay for content. For Nazor Selesnya. For Selesnya 2 generic, you can tap it. Create a 1/1 green and white elf warrior creature token. And for 6 mana, tap it. For each creature token you control, create a token that's a copy of that token. This is like big Winmore energy. Riz the Redeemed. Yes, I'm gonna double my tokens. I think this is a B tier worthy card. Super Winmore. What if you have no creatures in play? You won't be doubling squat. And do you double with number of creatures or double with tokens? Create a token that's a copy. For each creature token you control, yeah. Oh, but you can copy other tokens. Ah, I see. For each creature token you control. Oh, it's even worse than I thought. You need like different tokens. If you have like 1 elf token, you get 1 elf 1/1 token. It's terrible. West Coast Games says Elvish Ranger. This is a 3-mana 4/1. It's not D tier worthy if you ask me. It could be so much worse. I can put it in the C tier. Getting the hangout over there. You have a 4-power creature for 3 mana. Back then, this was probably a bomb. Turn 1 land or elves. Turn 2 4/1 creature. You're in so much trouble. Toads is looking out for Kano. Okay, look, where's Kano? Elvish Spirit Guide. Well, let's get the original one. It Danger! Green 2 generic for a 2/2. You can remove it from your hand. You can exile it from your hand to add a green mana to your mana pool. It's basically, I mean, it's like a Lotus Petal, effectively, for green. This card sees a lot of play in Legacy. It would see a lot of, I mean, Simian Spirit Guide. It's the green Simian Spirit Guide. Simian Spirit Guide is banned in Modern. And for that, this card is insane. You people like your Lotus Petals? You like Lotus Petals that no one can counter because it is an ability? Elvish Spirit Guide has got your back. Almond. Argothian Elder. Okay, we got a green 3 generic 2/2. Untap 2 target lands. This is... Okay, this has a lot of potential because you can untap things like Nykthos Shrine to Nyx, Gaia's Cradle. So it's actually really... And it's not that... It's like you would ramp into this, and then this card ramps into something even larger. I actually like the Argothian Elder. I think it's actually a lot better than, say, the cards that would add a bunch of mana, given like X number of creatures on the battlefield. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. What if you have a Guy's Cradle? Isn't that like weirdly win more or something? Okay, I might be nuts by putting this in the A tier. I might be just dead wrong, because I've never actually played with this card. I just like the idea of it. Untap Lotus Veil. You can untap Lotus Veil as well. Orcanus just showed up. No card yet. Nira Wild Mage. We did that one. Oh, we did not do that one. Not wild enough. All right, we have 6 mana. 2/7. What's the defense for? Chubby Meatball, come back. Chubby Meatball, come back. Come. 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 I'm not going to go chase you. Oh, she's like, she wants to go outside. Too busy with the show. Okay, we have a human elf shaman. Whenever you cast a spell, you may put it on the bottom of its owner's library. If you do, reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card. Isn't this Cascade? Okay, so oh, no, not exactly. So when I cast a spell, I can put it at the bottom of the library. And then if you do reveal cards on the top of your library until you hit a non-land card, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This ability triggers only once each turn. I think this is a weird card. It's not even really Cascade. It's like, it sort of looks like Cascade, but I have to sacrifice the card that I just played. I don't even think this is worth anything. This is a modern day C tier card. Okay, we have some super chats. We have more super chats. Herald King of Skimfar. That is... sounds like scum. Herald. Oh, it's Herald, not Herald. King of Skemfar. The real one. 3 mana for a 3/2 Elf Warrior with Menace. Enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal an Elf, Warrior, or Tyvar card from among them, and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This is great value. Basically, a 3 mana body that finds more bodies. It's like Impulse on a creature. Easily A tier. Easy. Bell, thank you so much for your super chat. Freon Ranger. Not just for elf decks. Isn't it? It's an elf ranger. Green 1/1. Return a forest you control to its owner's hand. Untap target creature. Activate only once each turn. Not only that, this was like a pretty big bomb in the elf decks. So you would... what was it? Untap target creature. Some And of course, some creatures, you know, add a lot of mana. The Priest of Titania, for example, and Quirion Ranger helps you get, like, super huge chunks of mana. And at the cost of just returning a forest back to your hand. Also can give your creature pseudo-vigilance, attack, return a land back to your hand to untap it. So that is definitely S tier worthy. That card was very, very good. Okay, Kagan, how about Nissa Vastwood Seer? You mean the OG Nissa? Chubby Meatball, come. Come. I'm approaching her and then she just runs away. She's just crying like crazy. I don't know if anyone else can hear it. Okay, Nissa, 3 mana, 2/2. Enters the battlefield. You may search your library for a basic forest card. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. That's good. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands, exile Nissa and transform into Nissa Sage Animist. 3 loyalty, +1, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it onto the battlefield, otherwise put it into your hand. -2, put a legendary 4/4 green elemental creature token named Ashaya Woken World onto the battlefield. And also -7, untap up to 6 target lands. They become 6/6 elemental creatures, and they are still lands. I like this card, actually. I think it's just a lot of value, in my opinion. Not to mention, like... Oops, I want the front side. You get a rebate off of this card. So you're already at probably 3 mana. You get another land, and especially in Commander, your land drops matter so much. The fact that you get to 7 land drops and like it's all over at that point, or sorry, I wouldn't say it's all over. You get to 7 land drops and you basically get a new card. That makes Nissa fantastic. I'm going to put her S tier. Wow, a Planeswalker, about time. Well, it has to transfer. There's not a lot of elf Planeswalkers out there, you know. Not a lot, at least. Salvala, Heart of the Wilds. I don't know if this one was done. All these names are blending in. Oh no, it was not done. Okay, green, 1 generic, 2/3 elf scout. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, its controller may draw a card. If its power is greater than each other creature's power. And then pay a green, tap, add X mana in any combination of colors, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. So whenever another creature enters the battlefield, its controller may draw a card. If its power is greater than each other creature's power. Oh, that contributes to everybody. Everyone has access to this effect, but ideally, you're the one who can make use of this the best, because you designed your deck to have big, beefy creatures to obliterate your opponents. Not to mention, this is like a super mana dork. What, tap, add X mana in any combination of colors where X is the greatest power among creatures you control? That's gotta be wild. S tier. That's a lot of mana. That's also a lot of value. Okay, Kagan, lastly, since I got it in bulk and don't get draft, Leovold's Operative. What the hell is Leovold's Operative? It's an elf rogue, tell you that much. It's a green 2 generic 3/2. Draft Leovold's Operative face up. Oh, it's one of those cards. As you draft a card, you may draft an additional card from that booster pack. If you do, turn Leovold's Operative face down, then pass the next booster pack without drafting a card from it. Isn't this stone cold use? This is just stone cold useless. This deserves a tier below the D tier because, like, unless you're drafting, this card is unplayable. Nikachu, ask Christopher B how many elf planeswalkers there are. Christopher B, how many elf planeswalkers are there? You'll know. Christopher B knows everything. Christopher B is the encyclopedia of Magic the Gathering card lore. Another one from Kagan, and the Moon Blessed Cleric. Moon Blessed this time. Divine Intervention. Okay, it's got a 3-mana 3/2. Enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, and then shuffle and put that card on top. Did we do this one? I feel like we did something similar. Did we do this one? Oh, we did this one. Sorry, you got sniped. It's like, it's decent value. I'm gonna shift this over a bit. So we're gonna donate. I don't know. Can't remember if David got a card yet. Tomb of Horrors. The Adventure. 6 mana 4/4 Elf Monk. Enters the battlefield. You take the initiative. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy it. If you've completed a dungeon, copy that spell twice instead. You may choose new targets for the copy. 6 mana initiative card. Blue Elf? That seems really, really awkward.
No, God, please.
Probably
no.
not for the Elves players, and probably not for the initiative players. But it does give you initiative period, so I'll put it in the C tier. Pretty heinous card, though, in my... Yeah, Blue Elf. Who blew the elf? Well, that came out wrong. Okay, Darkstar Ashura with Birch Lore Rangers. Goes in infinite with Yadora. This is really just a classic elf card. Green 1/1, tap 2 untap elves you control. Add 1 mana of any color your mana pool. So as you make more, if you like make a billion elves, you can tap 2 of them to keep playing cards from your hand. It's an absolute excellent card. The Birchlore Rangers. On the other hand, I don't think it's broken. So I'm just gonna give it the A tier treatment. Ecos, Wirewood Lodge, combos. You people and your combo cards. Combos to Argothian Elder. Anything, if you work hard enough, will be... What the hell is this? It combos with Argothian Elder? Elfland? Oh, is that the thing that untaps the lands? Oh, no, but you... Oh, I see. Yeah. Tap, add a mana to your mana pool. Pay green, untap target elf. Holy crap, this is like $5. Oh yeah, because you want to untap your elves to make a whole lot of mana. Maybe this card is great. Untap target elf. I think this card actually might be great. It's a land, it's easy enough to throw in your mana base, S tier. And there's a lot of elves that add mana. And that would be double the mana for the low cost of like 2 mana. Eladamri, Lord of the Leaves, says Balthazar. Oh, sorry, Eldamri. This sounds so cool. No, it's Eladamri, right? Eladamri? Eladamri? What is this stupid guy called? Okay, I found it. Eladamri. Just didn't know how to spell the name. Don't worry, we were both in the same boat. Nobody knows how to spell this guy's name. Double green for a 2/2. All elves gain Force Walk, and elves cannot be the target of spells or abilities. This card is insane. Just complete nuts. Oh, it's on the reserve list. It's the crystal. It's like close to the crystalline sliver of elves, and I most certainly wish I had one. I mean, this protects all your elves from everything. Don't touch my stuff. Do not touch my elves. Pedgeman's like, where's Morafon? Not here, that's for sure. And a last one from King Ginger. Hopefully you didn't snipe yourself. Did we do Nissa Resurgent Animist? Oh God. No, we didn't. All right, King Ginger, you got one. You got one. Okay, we have a 3 mana 3/3. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, add 1 mana of any color. Then if this is the second time, this ability has resolved this turn, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal an elf or elemental card. Put that card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This card's busted. Okay, so I lost this card miserably so many times. At least in Modern, where they're playing like Solitude and Fury against me. Fury's banned now, but at the time it still worked. So it's like, if you basically, if you put like a land in play, like a fetch land, crack it, you can go find yourself a Solitude. Like, it's just a tutor. I think that's card's absolutely nuts. This should probably be like S tier plus. I don't think it can go higher up on the S tier, in my opinion. It deserves higher. Daniel, thank you very much for your super chat. The Elvish Soul Tiller. It's a 5-mana 5/4. It's an elf mutant. That mutated. Picked up some of that ooze from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. When Elvish Soul Tiller is put into a graveyard from play, choose a creature type. Shuffle all creature cards of that type from your graveyard into your library. God, is that any good? Okay, when it's put into a graveyard from play, you can choose elves and shuffle all cards of elves from the graveyard to your library. It like what is the purpose of this card? We don't affect the board. We only affect our graveyard. In fact, we lose our graveyard for crying out loud. 7 elves for the way 2 situational tier. Maybe we could do could be the Fuel of Nissa. Oh. Okay, hold on. I gotta get through this one. Elvish Soul Tiller. I don't like it. Ugh, it's like fine for the power. I gotta give it D tier. I'm sorry, Daniel. Wait, you can use that plus Alter plus Verdant Succession for infinite mill. Can you? Can you? Oh, I mean, okay. If you have some combo card, we'll put in the C for a very crappy combo. Crappy combos that actually work. Okay, what do you have to say? Savian Elves for the way too situational tier. This was the way too situational card. Is this a real card? Looks like a picture in a picture. Green, 1/1. Green, tap. Destroy, target enchant land is destroyed. Oh god. Very, very situational. Very, very, very situational. You know, maybe it's not that situational. You could put it like, you know, you could destroy a Utopia Sprawled Land or something. Aberrant Mind Sorcerer from Kagan. Oh, this is an elf. Okay, 5 mana, 3/4. It's got psionic spells. When the Mind Sorcerer enters the battlefield, choose target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard. Then we're gonna roll a d20. You may put that card on top of your library if it's 1 or 9. If it's 10 through 20, return that card to your hand. So you may put that card on top of your library for 5 mana. I think this is like below playable. This is like a definitely like a C tier worthy type of card. Balthazar, did we do Ilmeral? I hope that's what it's called. No, we did not. ILL Meryl? No. Can I look up the back end? Meryl? How is this called? Does anyone know? How do we call what is this called? Ilmeral? Is it triple? Oh, sorry. Is it like literally triple L? This is not helping. It's like no one can spell this damn thing. All right, Christopher B might help us. Okay, IMARYLL. Okay. We had several people. How did you fall into this, King Ginger? Okay, it's Immoral Elfheim Elite. We have a 4-mana 3/3 Elf Warrior. Whenever Immoral Elfheim Elite attacks, it gets +X/+X until end of 10, where X is the number of other elves you control. Then that means that is going to be a very beefy attack. And you may have Immoral assigned as combat damage, as though it weren't blocked in the first place. So block as you might, you're still going to get hit straight to the face. A tier. Make sure you have elves before you attack. Make sure you have elves. Enter New Jones, the Taunting Elf. Taunt away. Green 0/1, all creatures able to block the Taunting Elf do so. You have to be sacrificed for the greater good, Taunting Elf. You have to be... I'm going to put in the B tier. I don't think this is very competitive, but I can see you building some situations around this. It's not the most exciting thing, but it's not one of the worst ones either. And with that, that's our tier list. It's a beautiful tier list to see. I spell cards as bad as you read them. Yes, exactly. But together, we'll figure it out together. We'll find out. We'll find out together. Yes, Christopher B for the win. All right, did I get any of these cards wrong? You can always let me know what their real values are in the comments section below. And of course, thank you very much for showing up today. And if, as usual, if you want to be part of Coffee and MTG, you got to show up 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is the new time for Coffee and MTG. Thanks, everyone who supports the channel. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or use Super Chat to be part of the show, or Super Chat for other people to be part of the show. And thank you very much for being here this afternoon from the Coffee Crew. Thank you so much, Christopher B, Eco, Steve Cooper, Old Boy Toads, Ferginka, Avatar of Woe, Kano, Jas David, Mr. Deadhead, Arcanus, Bell, Mordrick, Toads, King Ginger, Daniel, because you guys are the show, of course. Without you, I'd have nothing. I am nothing. You guys are the Coffee Crew that makes Coffee and MTG what it is. So as usual, my Coffee Crew, keep bringing up them coffees, and we will keep bringing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.